controversial at the last meeting due to an email vote on nominees for the rec center. So that everybody's aware, these are non-paid positions. They're all volunteer, and we're actually kind of fortunate that we have a lot of people that want to do these things, because a lot of cities and villages can't get anybody. But we ran into an issue, technically. We had people on the phone breaking up. Our audio was terrible. And due to the fact that we were taking a vote of two nominees with three, or two people on three nominees, we wanted to make absolutely sure that we got the votes correctly tabulated. We had the proper tabulation on who actually won. The results were announced. Unfortunately, and the email ballots were sent to the press, to the council members. They're going to be part of the minutes officially, and if they're approved tonight. And in order to do this, we have two options. So this is council's decision how they want to do this. Does anybody have any input?
Sabatino.
Here.
Behl.
Here.
Butler.
Here.
Jordan.
Here.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody who's listening in. We have all the council people present, so we'll go with the roll call.
Smith.
Smith. Here.
Obridge.
Here.
Sabatino.
Here.
Behl.
Here.
Butler.
Here.
Jordan.
Here.
Bookmeyer.
Here.
All members are present.
Okay, we have everybody present. Before we get to the minutes, I want to address an issue that became a little controversial at the last meeting. Unpaid positions, they're all volunteer, and we're actually kind of fortunate that we have a lot of people that want to do these things, because a lot of cities and villages can't get anybody. But we ran into an issue, technically. We had people on the phone breaking up. Our audio was terrible. And due to the fact that we were taking a vote of two nominees with three, or two people on three nominees, we wanted to make absolutely sure that we got the votes correctly tallied and that we could hear everyone that was voting. So the choice was to email ballots so that, or votes so that there was no mistake on who was being voted on, and we had the proper tabulation on who actually won. The results were announced. Unfortunately, and the ballots were sent to the press, to the council members. They're going to be part of the minutes officially, and if they're approved tonight. And in order to do this, we have two options. We can revote and do a whole voice vote over everything, or in fact, we can actually just read the votes by the individual people and who they voted for, and have them confirm that that's who they voted for. So this is council's decision how they want to do this. Does anybody have any input?
Why don't you just leave it
Okay, nobody has any input, so if there is no objection, please object if you feel that this is, there's a question whether the vote was proper since it was not done by voice. So what we'll do if they are no other.
Jim,
Yes.
Jim, this is Beth.
Okay, Beth.
It was the vote proper? Was the vote legal?
Well, if we were in a live meeting, Beth, we would have done, obviously, a roll call vote like we normally do. There were technical difficulties on our end, and obviously, we've been dealing with this situation for over a year. Last meeting, it was particularly bad. In retrospect, we should have read the votes at the meeting and had individual council people confirm. Unfortunately, that did not get done. So council can somebody can make a motion to rescind that vote. We can redo the vote, not the nominations, just the vote themselves.
See, Beth, we're kind of in a no man's land here because prior to COVID, no
wouldn't
one
have this
on
situation.
council was allowed to call in and vote on the telephone. That was totally improper. You had to be present in the meeting to vote. But COVID has changed a lot of things temporarily, and we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants. Our concern that night, because of the audio difficulties, was that we could not necessarily hear everybody clearly. And since we had 3 nominees for 2 positions, we wanted to make sure that the votes were correct. The votes were individually by the council person and who they voted for was in fact sent to the Times leader. It was sent to all the council people, and it was, if the minutes are approved, it'll be posted on the website, and they'll still be available to anybody if they want to see them in black and white on paper, but they'll be part of the minutes. So it's just a question of whether you want to go through the revote or whether you want to just have the secretary or the council clerk read who voted and who the persons were they voted for, and confirm with that person that that's who they voted for. I don't know if we answered your question, Beth, or we kind of talked your ear off. But we wanted to address this first.
No, I guess.
We want to address this first prior to actually approving the minutes.
The nominations would remain as the nominations were.
That is correct.
Yes.
The nominations were made in open session, so the nominations don't change. It's just merely that if we vote, it would just be voting for who you select, or we could confirm your vote.
Now, can you add or subtract that?
No issue. The only question was the actual vote was not by council member.
Okay.
So if you want to redo the whole works and start over and vote, we can, or we can just read the votes as they were cast by each council member, and the clerk will confirm with each member that that is who they voted for.
So if there were to be a revote, votes would not change. This is just a way to confirm what we did.
Unless you want to rescind the last vote completely. And then we have to start from scratch except for the nominees. Otherwise, we can just read the votes out loud. The clerk will read whoever the council member is and who they voted for, and confirm with them that that is in fact who they voted for. Because everybody has a copy of their emails, so it's council decision which way they want to go.
Well, you know what?
Mr. Behl, this is already done. Can we just go ahead and confirm this so we can move forward?
Well, it's up to council. It's a majority thing. Barry, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I'm for just confirming the original vote.
Okay. Okay, if there are no objections.
Confirm mine as well.
Mr. Velas,
Yes, Mark?
Can we ask Ms. Flick, our legal advisor, what's the proper way to do this? Her legal opinion?
If you want to rescind your vote, we can re-vote on the matter. If this had been a normal session, we would have done it differently. You would have been, council members present would have voted at the meeting versus doing an email vote. It would have been an open vote.